We are live again, folks. Once again, this is actually, if you're watching this on Wednesday, today is November 2nd, I believe. This is the second one that we've done today. Today we have a very special guest. This guy, I started watching his YouTube videos probably, I would say, maybe a year or so ago. He's got a lot of tips and tricks that he does. But before we get into all that, we're going to bring you right to him. Let's go ahead and hit that intro. Joining me now is Mr. T11 Paraplegic himself, Mr. Joseph Huerta. Here we go. Let's put him on there. I probably butchered your name, but Huerta, every time I try that, man, with like different, I don't know. I guess it's just something with my ethnicity. Right. You actually did pretty good. I appreciate it. So, hey, man, first off, I want to say thanks for agreeing to come on. Thanks for coming to share your story. I'm going to tell you like I tell everybody else, I really hope that this helps somebody. You know what I mean? The reason why we do this is to kind of give awareness and also to help somebody that might be newly injured or, there's somebody that's been injured for a while that might want to hear a different point of view. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let people know who you are.
Yeah, my name is Joseph Huerta. I have a YouTube channel called T11 Paraplegics where I make quick tips and tricks and to help anybody like you mentioned that are new and want to learn how to improve their life and make their life more easy, especially if you're just a newcomer at being paralyzed.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I really dig your editing style too. I've noticed lately how you've been on there like kind of chopping in, adding some comedy, and then like chopping back in.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the fast. I don't know. It's something about the fast clicks, the fast chops and the.
Yeah, I have my own like learning style. The reason for my channel is because I like to make things quick and simple and not like drag it on. Just something basic. People make 20-minute videos when it could have been like 5 minutes or less.
Right.
That's pretty much what I've been doing is making videos like 5 minutes or less, just to help somebody right in the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to watch long videos. That's just how they are.
For sure. In our day and age, there's more people that are apt to watch shorter videos than longer videos. You know what I mean? Also, I want to say thanks to all our live viewers, all the people sharing. We see you guys out there. Jody, Ben, appreciate you guys. So I'm going to get into the first question, which is pretty much, I'm sure you've heard this a million times. It's the one that everybody asks you when you meet somebody new is how'd it happen?
Well, for me, it was an argument that occurred. We had somebody, I was staying with a roommate, and he had these guests over. One of them was his girlfriend he was just dating, and her brother just got out of jail. He was staying with us, and the grandmother was staying with us, and there was like altercations all the time. The brother threatening my friend, who was a Marine, the one that let me stay with him. And my father being in the Army, I pretty much thought of my father like that. But anyways, so I ended up letting things go for a while. Weeks later, I ended up snapping. All that anger built up. I ended up snapping, told them get the F out, and they didn't like it. They came back. They beat and shot me. So, but like I said, I thought of my father. I'm like, I wouldn't let nobody disrespect my father like that, But
right.
For his situation, my friend, or was a friend, James, I let things go for a while. So,
right.
But during the court stuff, they try to say I have anger issues when I wasn't the one that snuck in the house, being shot. They did to me. I heard I heard a knock at the door and a rifle aimed at me, and 2 people barging in with guns. And that female was there, like hiking them up, and she got away with it. So she's out right now. The other guy claimed insanity, so he's not doing real time. He'd be out a couple years. The other guy killed 2 people in jail recently.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I'm a bad person. But
right.
Justice isn't always justice, but it is what it is. I'm trying to make the best that I can with what I have left. And so I'm pretty much trying to help others like me, because it's not fair and it's not right what happened to us.
Right.
Even if they done it to themselves, or like, for example, drinking and driving. Yeah, they did to themselves, but at the same time, we don't deserve to be like this forever. People learn, but then over time, it's like, okay, we learned our lesson. Just give us a second chance. For some, we don't get a second chance.
Yeah.
Because some of us are completes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
I'm complete.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, that really sucks.
Yep. I'm a T3, T4. You're T11. How long ago did this happen?
Almost 3 years ago. It was December 19th, 2019.
Oh, so you're right after me. I'm October
Yeah,
26th. That's crazy. 2019.
yeah,
Well, welcome to the club, bro. Me and you are going to be homies.
sadly.
So the second question that I have is kind of I don't know. It could be portrayed in a couple different ways. The way I look at it is, it's asked like, would you walk if you could? By that, what I mean is, if you could go back to that day and just completely, take a different path and have that not happen to you, and then you would be on a different path, which means that everything you've learned now today, it wouldn't be the same. You would live a different life. Would you rather do that, or would
Honestly,
you rather?
yes and no. I've thought of that question long before you just asked me right now. It's just like um, things are harder now, where it comes with mental problems, and also for me, brain injury. I have problems remembering things. I blink out, be forgetful. I wish I was normal. I'll never
Right.
be normal mentally, physically, especially with PTSD. But like there's days I keep thinking, why didn't I just leave when I keep hearing the brothers say, Tiffany, let's go. I got it handled. I could have thought, oh man, I should leave. I always think, what would happen if I just left that day?
Right.
But didn't because I was being all high and mighty, and I just let my
Kind of
pride
let your
get to
ego
me.
get the best of you.
Yeah, I was there trying to defend my friend. He just let these people walk over him, and I stick up to people, and he ended up betraying me and took their side over. So court wasn't in my favor because four people against one. Who are they gonna believe? So yeah, but at the same time, I see the positives, because they might have like they laughed in court, smiling at parents. They had to be separated in the courtroom because they were laughing and joking around in court,
Wow.
and then pleading daddy. But anyways, it's like yeah, they're laughing at me, but at the same time, I have the last laugh because I'm the one that gets to choose what I want to do with my life now. Because without them, I wouldn't be T11 paraplegic. So
Right. Right. And I think
so
that the
yes
work.
and no, I would. Yeah, so yes and no, I would take a different route or direction, but at the same time, my life back then wasn't always the best. I've done some things that wasn't, I was doing
Questionable.
bad back then.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like a new life and a new change for me. And, I look back, I'm like, man, I used to like be doing this and that, getting in trouble and stuff, and now look where I'm at.
Right.
So it's a yes and a no for that.
Hey, man, I feel it. I feel it. You got a fan over here, D Terrazas.
Yes.
Said, what up, T11? Yep. So yeah, I totally feel that, man. I mean, it's kind of a thing where you learn something when you're like in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? When you're confined to a wheelchair and you have no other choice, you have no choice but to learn how to be patient, how to, you know what I mean?
And exactly, and like I was going back from like the other question where I said it's like I just wish we'd get a second chance. Yeah, we learned our lesson, but where's our second chance?
Right.
Most of us won't get a second chance. So
Right. And I mean, obviously, with the work that you're doing right now, it's kind of funny because I figured I started watching you like right shortly after I got out, and you started making videos right around the same time I did, I think. And I've kind of watched how your videos have progressed, and it's kind of cool, you know what I mean, in a way where it's like, man, I wonder if I could talk to this dude, which it's funny how we're sitting here now.
yeah,
But I would like to think, and I'm sure you would like to think, that the work that you're putting into these videos could possibly or is possibly helping somebody. You know what I mean? Because that's like I said, that was my thing. I was in the hospital and there was nothing on YouTube I could watch that was like genuine to me. You know what I mean? I mean, there was a few people, but you always want to find somebody you can relate with. You know what I mean?
my person I like to watch when I first became paralyzed was Wheels to Walking.
Yep, Richard.
I watched his stuff, and I watched other people, but his was like the main person I always watched or go to when I wanted to learn how to do basic stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah. He's been through a lot of stuff too, man. Man, big ups to that guy. So the next question I got for you is dating / married. So I mean, like, how's that going for you?
honestly, I'm not with my babe mom. She's very abusive, and I haven't seen my daughter since I was shot. She was 2 months old when I was shot, and the people that
Dang.
shot me. I was begging for my life, saying, "Don't shoot me, don't shoot me. I have a daughter." Like after the second shot, they shot me twice. The first one hit my shoulder, the second one hit my back, and so yeah. Um, but anyways, besides that, um, dating's been hard. Not a lot of people want to date somebody who's paralyzed, and me having an abusive relationship back then, it makes me think, well, imagine how it was back then. Are they going to be abusive now? And I was dating a female like a month ago or so, and I made a video about it where she was being very aggressive towards her dog, and I'm a pet lover,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, I remember that.
I told her honestly, I'm scared to meet you, and she was like, as long as you don't get me mad, if you do, I'll just flip your wheelchair. I'm like, that's not cute, and that's not true, and I just blocked her, you
No,
know.
that's a
So
block that number and walk away.
yeah, it's just a lot of double standards with
Walk away.
how society is. It's like imagine a guy who said stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm always thinking, am I going to get abused, especially being in a wheelchair? Am I going to get taken advantage of because
Right.
I'm in a wheelchair? From friends, or it could go, with friends or like relationship stuff. It's just being taken advantage in general. I don't want to,
Right.
because I can't defend myself.
Well, and it's rough
Um,
too. I mean, I couldn't
so
imagine being single, you know what I mean, and then having to try to find somebody.
yeah, and then also been cheated on from my paying mom because drugs will do that to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me think like if I was cheated on before my injury, then how would it be now? Like I'm not able to pleasure them. I'm not able to even feel pleasure. So it's like people have urges,
Yeah.
and not satisfy it. So most likely they get cheated on. And that's something that's big for me. It's like, loyalty and, so
You got all
it
these
comes with a
underlying
lot of
factors. It
mental
sounds
issues
like
and
that just
trust issues.
yeah, just like in your head. You know what I mean? Like you think about all these things that kind of even if you might get the confidence to maybe ask somebody out or whatever, then they kind of start creeping up on you. Like, well, wait a minute, what if this and this and this? So that's totally understandable, man. Like, God bless my beautiful fiance, man. Like, I wouldn't be here today, like right now. Swear to God, if it wasn't for her. Like, I give all glory to her. And it's something where it's like when I see people, they're just single, in wheelchairs. It's like I want to give them advice on what to do or how to do something to help them, but it's like in all reality, I don't know anything. You know what I mean? Like, all I would say is just try to have confidence. I would say, try to be confident in
Oh yeah,
yourself.
confidence key for everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but, but for me, I already have that. But as you can see from my TikTok videos, but for me, it's mostly trusting. Trusting, it's hard. Well, nowadays, just hard to trust anybody, especially being a gunshot victim. I cannot
mm-hmm.
trust people because what happened to me. So
Right. I'll move this
everybody has
camera a
their
little
own
bit.
battles, struggles. It's just hard for all of us in general, in dating, and
Right.
it comes to mental being paralyzed.
Well, the next one I bring up is what are your like biggest pet peeves about being in a wheelchair?
Like the negatives,
Yeah, just what kind
I
of
would
like really kind of like grinds your gears. You know what I mean? Like what people do or something like that. What's up, Mike?
say people think I cannot do things for myself, such as nurses. I have a thing against nurses because they act like they know it all. They act like I cannot do things for myself. They act like I cannot take care of my own pressure sores. Like, so yeah, people that act like they know it all, or people that
Know-it-alls.
say, yeah, I made a video about how a guy nurse told me, "Oh, you don't like using a cath kit because you're not used to it." That's the first thing we used in rehab was a cath kit. I prefer straight cath because I feed the catheter with the wrapper and it prevents UTIs versus touching the catheter, which blood.
Yeah.
So I have my own ways. So being paralyzed, the pet peeve for people in general is mostly like, don't tell us how to do certain things when we're the one that has to be doing it. We're the ones that know when to take our meds. We have our own routine, so pretty much don't mess it up. So that people pushing our wheelchairs,
Oh yeah, that's like the
uh,
number one everywhere.
yeah, oh yeah, it just seems like it just seems like we don't have control of nothing pretty much. Like when somebody just like tries to push your wheelchair away, like you're going like they're trying to put you in the corner or something. It just seems like they're trying to control you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not cool. My little brother did that to me, and I was like, no. Um, Let me see. I would say,
That's why you gotta get them flip
like,
down
does it
handles
have
on
to
the
be
back.
people in general, or like, we're just like, because I would say another pet peeve is like being able, like, not be able to do certain things, like, like reaching something high up, and so
Yeah, yeah.
I
See,
don't,
that's for me too.
just
I
not
hate
able
being
to
able
do
not to
things.
reach stuff that I used to be able to
Yeah, not
reach and
able to
do.
do things for yourself. That's a pet peeve for me. So it's not really a person in general like influencing me or whatever. It's just something in general I cannot do.
Right.
That's pretty much like the struggle. One of the pet peeves for me is not able to do things.
For sure. Which actually, we were just kind of talking about this. What is something that you wish you could do now that you can't do anymore that you used to be able to do?
Uh, well, besides having sex.
I was just gonna say I already knew
But like
that
I
was
said,
coming.
yeah, honestly, yeah, because any young person, because I'm 24 now, and I was shot when I was 21.
Oh
It's
yeah,
been almost 3 years since I felt
that's the
pleasure,
prime,
and
bro. You got the
yeah,
prime.
anybody, it's a big thing for men or female. That's a para. Not be able to feel pleasure, not able to have any more kids. I only have one daughter, so I wish I had more kids. But let me see. I could work, of course, but it's harder since I was shot in my spine. It's harder for me to sit. So there's a lot of things I used to do back then that I wish I could do now. I used to do construction and stuff.
Right.
Uh, Able to just go out on my own, able to just travel without
Be
catheters and
independent.
you know,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. So just being independent, pretty much. I have to pretty much rely on people for transportation. Um, so
Speaking of catheters, I have two different kinds of catheters. So I also have the straight cath that I use for like when I'm in bed or if I'm just kind of sitting around the house. But I also have what I use like out here and when we're going mobile, like when we're on the road, is we use what's called the Vapro Plus pockets or packets. You ever heard of those?
no, I haven't.
Yeah, those are a self-contained unit, man. Like they come just in like a little square package, and you just like rip open the package. Inside, it's all sterile with sterile water. The bag itself is just wrapped up by a little piece of like tape thing. You just take it off, unravel the bag. The catheter itself is actually inside of a sleeve, so you don't need no gloves. You don't need no lubrication or anything, and you just stick it in, empty it, fill the
Is
bag
it the
up, and then that's
prelude?
it.
Is it the prelude one where Ray has lube on the catheter? Because I have one where the catheter is inside the bag, and you just pull out the catheter that's in the bag, and it's like prelude. At least one of
It's not
them.
necessarily. I think it's just. I don't know if it's lubed or if it's just like moist or if it just comes like that. I'm not sure,
But
but it's.
what's that?
I'll have to
That's a
show you after we're done
program.
with this. I'll send
Yeah,
you a picture of it.
there's a lot of catheters out there, honestly.
Oh yeah,
So
it's a big money. It's a big money market, man. I'm telling you. I swear I was in the wrong business when I chose advertising. I should have went into catheters. Now we were just talking about this before we went live, but everybody has their own injuries. Everybody has their own different points of pain. Their different things. Talk about your kind of pain that you have to deal with.
yeah, like before we went live, I just you just seen for yourself where I deal with nerve pains, and it acts. I have nerve pains 24/7. It does not go away, but it's like over time, it it's more manageable. You're able to like handle it a little more, but every now and then, like I'll say like every 10, 20 minutes, it'll act up real bad where it's like a cramp. It feels like something's like squeezing your legs, and it's like a sharp, stabbing, burning pain. And it'll go away in about like a minute or two, but it acts up every now and then. The more I sit, I notice the more it acts up, and my back will start spasming. A lot of people get leg spasms. I don't get that. I just get like back spasms where it'll start twitching
Oh
easier.
gosh, I couldn't imagine that. I get leg
Uh,
spasms, but not as
yeah,
much as some people do.
people that have leg spasms, I notice that they could like keep their like legs definitions pretty much. Mine is like from skin now.
Yeah, I've
So
noticed mine are starting to get kind of flimsy too. You know
yeah,
what?
mine are real flimsy.
What you don't realize too is right after you get paralyzed is how freaking heavy your damn legs are. Like legs are freaking heavy, especially when you can't move them and you can't feel them. Man, I don't know how many times I
Yeah.
asked the doctor, I'm
Even
like,
the
can we just
kidneys,
chop these off?
yeah. Like it's a drag, like trying to drag yourself around like on the floor
Yeah.
to get somewhere. You got to drag your legs, so it could get heavier now than that. But mine actually thinned out a lot I also had surgery on my leg, so they took a big chunk of my leg off for my wound flap. But anyways, um, yeah, and then I get a lot of back pains, so I cannot like sit in my bush for a long time because my back will start, hurting a lot, and I'm always had to like decompress my back, and
Right.
so pretty much my back and nerve pains are the stuff that I usually can look with.
Do you get a like a sensation when you have to go to the bathroom at all?
No, honestly, I was telling him how a friend of mine asked me about that. He's a non-para, and he's asking me, some questions about that. And I told him I could kind of, it's yes and no. It's like, cause I'm paralyzed, I cannot feel my belt button, so I'm like paralyzed like midways kind of.
Right.
And it's like a fading transition. But it's like I could kind of feel, but not really. But it has to be really bad, like a liter of pee. That's the
Yeah,
only way
that's
I
not
can
healthy
feel
either.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with being able to do your bowel movement. I cannot feel when I need to go, but if it's really severe where I'm backed up, that's the only way I can feel it if it's like really bad. I made a video about where's my level of sensation with the TENS unit, and I was showing how in order for me to feel a TENS unit, like in my stomach area kind of, it has to be cranked up real high. That's the same with like be able to feel when you gotta go pee or have number two. It has to be very severe in order to feel something.
Right.
And that's usually bad because you get UTIs or I had bacteria in my stomach and I got an infection.
Ooh.
So yeah, that was a year
Man.
ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of lucky on the lucky side of actually the paraplegic side, I guess, because like I've probably I would say just about a year or so ago I started developing a feeling where it's kind of like goosebumps on my forearms or whatever. Like if I have to pee, like my arms will start getting goosebumpy and I'll start feeling it more. You know what I mean?
You know what? That reminded me of this YouTuber Anya's life. She's another YouTuber I watch. She's from she's British or something like that, and she says that she gets her leg spasms when she needs to pee. Her legs will start shaking when she needs to pee. So
Right.
yeah, everybody like
Everybody
has
has
their
something
way of
different with them. Yeah.
yeah to know when you gotta go pee. For me, it's like a bloating feeling, but usually it's really bad where I have to be real backed up in order to feel something. But
Right.
everybody has their own like ways of knowing when they gotta pee. I'm still learning
So you're kind of just
that.
doing it by like watching your intake, going by how
I
long.
have a time. I do it every 6 hours. I have a time. I wear underwears, and how I know when to pee is I first start at 8 hours, and if I'm still peeing myself, go 7 hours. If I'm still peeing myself, 6 hours,
Right.
and 6 hours work for me. So leaking is normal. If you sit for a long time or work out, it's normal to leak every now and then. But
Yeah.
peeing yourself, yeah, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, I think after a while you kind of get in your own routine. You kind of learn your body and learn
Yeah,
what you can do and what you can't
that's
do.
what
You know what I mean?
that's what I was talking about with the nurses. Like they irritate me because they have their own routine. So.
Right. Right. So that my next question is going to be, like, what helped you the most after your injury? So after you got injured, like, what was the thing that helped you the most?
Honestly, YouTube, and having my dog. I have a dog that's a pug, and my dad got me a dog a year after my injury, I believe. And I was dealing with a lot of depression. I was much skinnier. I was much bigger back then, bigger than how I am now. But before I started YouTube, I was real skinny. I starved myself. I didn't eat for days. My hair was all the way to my chin, but then I cut my hair. I buzz cut it. I started a YouTube channel a year ago. And when I showed a picture of my hair on the floor and a picture of me, my dad was like, "Hey," I'm like, yeah, I just gotta start fresh, But at the same time, I don't like the buzz cut because it shows my scars all over my head.
Yeah.
Where I have brain injury. I can't remember, or I get off the track, and so when I had to script my YouTube videos where it's not really scripting. It's more like I write down notes so I don't get off the track.
Oh, for
So
sure.
it's all natural. I just write down, okay, talk about this, talk about that, so I don't get off track. But yeah,
Well, then you also can edit and chop and how you do. I
yeah.
mean, I've
Dude,
never seen anybody do it the way you do it. You're like the king of the chop edits.
Yeah, so I blink out every now and then because of my brain injury. So
Right.
if I forget what I'm talking about, then at least it's on live.
Ah, yeah, no big deal. Um, the next question I got for you is, what are your like hobbies? Let's say before your injury and then after your injury.
I used to do cross country and track, and I was into like running, and my sister did it. And I didn't want to do that. My sister's a cross country coach now, especially after our coach died from cancer, and my dad has cancer now.
Oh man,
Um, so
sorry to hear that.
yeah, he has a little, so he had surgery for him. But yeah, she's a cross country coach, and so we're always in sports. So I was always into cross country and track. I did hurdles, long distance.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did hurdling, long distance. I was sprinter and long jump and stuff like that.
So like
So
track and field type stuff.
yeah, pretty much just those. I wasn't in like any like football or anything like that. I probably would have been good at it, but
Right.
yeah, I was mostly into like sports, and then after high school, I was just into restoration and working on houses and construction and at least the good part of the stuff I used to do.
Right, right,
but
right. And I won't bring you into that because who knows? You know what I mean? We don't want to bring up the old stuff, which we could actually have an episode about that. Shoot, who
yeah,
knows? What
yeah,
do you do
a lot
now,
of
though? I mean,
people
after your injury, though, I mean,
I might, but at the same time, a lot of people told me like they want to know more about that stuff, but like there's nothing really brag about that. Like, yeah, I could talk about it, but there's a lot of people, a lot of negative comments on YouTube where they're like, "Oh, you're trying to brag," but no, there's nothing to be proud of. My back tattoo, I always cover up because I'm not proud of my back tattoo.
right,
This is me now. The old me is dead pretty much, and I did die, but I was resuscitated, and this is the new me. So it's like my whole life. I don't like to dress a certain way. I don't wear dickies no more, or so I don't like to talk about certain lifestyle I used to do because I don't want people thinking I'm bragging.
right.
It's like I've been done that. I've done drugs, and you know, yeah, look where it got me. Being around certain people got me nowhere. But of course, I could like talk about my story, of course, to like pretty much help young people,
Yeah.
before they end up like us, or at least with me because I was shot, so
Well, and
prevent
I
them
think just
from going
the
to
yeah, sorry to didn't mean to cut you off, but I think just the shock and awe of the whole gunshot and the life that might have led up to that. That's just something that normal suburban area kids don't get to see. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, I grew up around dudes that were like want to be gangbangers and would fight and do all that shit, but it's like it's
It's all fun and games
until somebody gets shot and then you're fucking got paralyzed or you
yeah,
die.
and it's not cool. So
Right. It's like you said, it's nothing to brag about.
yeah.
What do you feel about like travel now? Like, do you like to travel at all, or does it
Honestly,
hurt you at all, or?
it does hurt me, my back and nerve pains, and it's real hard, especially dealing with pressure sores. I have pressure sores right now. Nothing severe. It's like stage two. It's pretty much almost healed, but I couldn't travel for my own court stuff, so that just shows how hard it is for me just to travel. Where I have to do my court through the phone. I had to read my court speech. I couldn't really testify, so that's why they didn't get much time. So traveling's
Right.
hard. I'm in California now, and I was shot in Las Cruces, New Mexico. So I'm not from there. It's just I am
Oh,
traveling.
so you would
I
have
am
to
having
travel
kids.
there just to go to court.
I traveled there, and I ended up having a kid there. But I'm born and raised in California. Graduated in Cali. So it's just I was only in New Mexico for a year, so I ended up having a kid out there, and I ended
Okay.
up getting shot over. So, but yeah, traveling's hard. If I could travel, I would see my daughter, but it's like uh 17-hour drive, I think,
Holy sh!
from Cali to New Mexico. Uh, yeah, about 17 hours. So it's pretty far for me. It's not easy on my back.
Oh no.
Especially shot literally right in the spine. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Um, and it just sucks that in order for me to be able to sit without much discomfort is I need to be built up on medication. And it's just what I mean is being on Baclofen and all these other stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I used to like to drive. You know what I mean? Go to these different places. We used to go to Tennessee every year because we're from Michigan. So that right there to go where we went in Tennessee was about a 9-hour drive, and just that like just going around Jackson, where we're from here, you know, even like a couple 3-4 hours driving, like I can't do it. Like my back is through when I get home. I want to get in my bed and like curl up. You know what I mean?
But if it's like traveling for pain, that's how it is for pain. But if it's like for traveling for a gunshot victim, honestly, I don't even leave my house unless it's like to the store or to my doctor appointments because of my paranoia.
Right.
Where I get paranoid opening doors because that's what happened when when Dora got shot.
Oh, I can imagine. That's a traumatic
Watching people
experience.
being in society is just hard for me now. I've been like this for 3 years in the house, pretty much. Um, but having a dog, like you asked about the other question about what helped me,
Yeah.
having a dog is pretty much helped me, and I'm trying to get myself out there again. So, you know,
Right. Now,
um,
this isn't really one of my questions, but as we're sitting here talking about this, it kind of, you know, it brings me, because I myself am a Second Amendment advocate. I believe that just because we're in a wheelchair or whatever, you know, we shouldn't be the weak ones. We shouldn't be victims. And I carry every day. Obviously, I've learned and I've trained, and you know, I understand the workings of the weapon and how to use it and how safely to use it. Is that anything you'd be interested in getting into, or?
guns. Oh, I'm terrified of guns. I don't mind my dad having guns because he's in the army. He was in the army for 17 years. Uh, Whenever my dad, it was about a year and a half ago or 2 years, and my dad thought the people that shot me was at my stepmom's house, and he left it was like a 9 mil or whatever in my room. He says, if anybody comes through the door, just shoot. And I was terrified to touch that gun.
Right.
Uh,
I can imagine.
so it's just guns. I don't like. I don't mind guns in the right hands. Like
Right.
I'm a gunshot victim. I'm still with guns. I'm with, also against it. It's just
Right.
it depends.
So you
You
support
know,
you
but
support being able to
oh
having a
yeah,
gun,
I'm
but you
big
just
supporter.
that's not
I
your
wish I
thing.
had a gun like back then. But if somebody break in, I have no choice to touch the gun. But I'm terrified of guns, honestly.
Right. For
When the
sure.
detective questioned me about what happened when I was shot 3 years ago, I asked her, "Hey, can you take off your gun?" I'm terrified of guns,
Right.
so she had to take it off. So,
Oh man.
uh, but yeah, but with the Second Amendment, people had guns. But the guns back then was muskets. They probably wouldn't sign it if they knew we'll be having machine guns and people will be using it for burglary and stuff like that. You know, if they knew that, they probably wouldn't sign the Second Amendment. But at the same
Right.
time, guns are good, and it could also cause, bad. It could cause people to get hurt. People use guns for um, violence, what's it called? Like, there's a lady. She got in an altercation while driving, and she pulled out a gun.
Oh, road rage and all
She
that.
was-
See, that's the
yeah,
thing.
a road
I
rage.
think that the guns, like
Yeah,
you said, the guns in the right hands of the right people are is better than gun in the hand of somebody that doesn't know any better, that just flies off the handle whenever they get mad. You know what I mean? I mean, the only thing that's going to stop a bad guy with a gun, though, is a good guy with a gun. So it's like
yeah,
you got to think of it that way too. You know what I mean? And it's a slippery slope. I know it's political. Some people don't like to get into it, but
yeah.
with your type of injury, you know, that's kind of something that I thought about. Is with me, I
Just
carry
like
every day, so it's like,
Yeah, just like you got to know the law. Just like you cannot claim self-defense if they have a gun and I don't, they cannot claim self-defense. That's what they did with me.
right,
Two guys claimed self-defense when they snuck in. They had a gun. I didn't. I tried to get away. They shot me in my back. They shot me twice when I tried to get away from them.
yeah.
So you got to know
California's
your
gun
law.
laws are a lot different than Michigan's, but I mean it's kind of the
Yeah,
same, but it's a slippery slope. Like I said, each state has their own little quirks and perks about different stuff.
yeah.
Um, where were we at here? Okay, here we go. Your wheelchair that you use. What type of wheelchair you got?
It's a it's a tie light. I wouldn't say tie light because it's heavy. uh, because the backrest is really huge. It's a lot of people, they ask me about my wheelchair. They're like, "Why do you have that kind of backrest? You're not that's like for quads." And I'm like, "It's because I'm paralyzed midways. I have no core balance." A lot of paras, they're able to have low backrests, and it doesn't look like the backrest is holding onto the back.
Yeah,
It's just so low. Like I'm like, how can he sit up?
they tried to give me one of those, and
Like
I was like,
right now, in order for me to like lean forward, I had to have my arm,
You got to
like
brace yourself on your
hold
leg.
on
Yep.
to my knee. yeah, if not, then I cannot. It's all balance, and it's just over time my arm will get tired, and it's just
You got to be able to
yeah. So
relax.
I'm waiting for a new wheelchair. So I'm looking for like a lighter one, and so I could go to like the skate parks and go out and balance stuff like that. But right now, this is a really bulky wheelchair, and it's
Right.
like my third wheelchair.
You
So
got a name for it?
no, no,
I
I
named
don't
both
know.
mine. I got my manual, which is a blue Apex, I believe it is. I forget what the real name of it is, but it's an Apex something or other. I called that one Old Blue, and then the one I'm in now, which is my power chair, I called this Johnny Five. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Short Circuit with the robot that comes
No,
alive,
I
Johnny
haven't.
Five. Oh, it's
Speaking of
hilarious.
power chair, a lot of my nurses or people that come to the houses, they keep thinking my standing frame is my power chair.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
like, no, that's a standing frame.
You got to explain it to him.
So it kind of looks like one actually, but
Yeah, I guess
it's
so if it
it's
was sitting there.
electrical.
Yeah, I got one of
Um,
those too. You get in it, press a button, it stands you up.
yeah, yeah, it's better than the one you gotta like do by hand.
Oh
That
yeah.
gets so tiring. It's like especially like the little short handle ones. And the
Mm-hmm.
rehab, it's much longer, but you got like a short handle lever. You're gonna be there for like 10 minutes.
Well, and
You
it's
know what I
sort of
mean?
sketchy too. Is like if you're not strapped in correctly and you start like moving forward and it's not tightened down, man, it gets freaky, man.
Yeah.
It gets real scary. So this brings me to my last question, which I believe is the most important one out of all of these, which is why I put it last. What is the best advice you would give to somebody who is newly injured?
Uh, Honestly, what I'll say is in order for you to like try to like help you move on, and that's what I'm still struggling with is moving on, but it's more like acceptance. I'm just starting accepting being paralyzed. Is if you're new, having a dog would definitely help. My dog helped me a lot. It's like you need emotional support,
Oh, for
and
sure.
being around others or others that understand you. For me, my dad understands me since he's a combat vet.
Right.
Other family members, they don't understand what to like be a gunshot victim, or they don't really understand me, so I can't really vent to them. So what I'll also like give is pretty much vent out to other paras, like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Talk to other paras. Go on group chats. That's what I've done on Facebook. Go on group chats. Talk to other paras. Somebody who can relate to you. Not a lot of people I've known is gunshot victims, so it's hard for me to vent to somebody who actually understands my problem and deal with PTSD. So pretty much finding somebody who understands you, having an emotional support dog, or having somebody there emotionally, those are two big things for me.
Right.
Also, something you could do if you're just starting out is start a YouTube channel, just like what I did. And it's like a therapy for me, honestly, because it helps more than actually going to therapy because not a lot of therapists understand you. So,
Right.
just start a YouTube channel and it just helps. And at
Yeah.
least you could also help others, by showing us your journey, pretty much.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I mean, that's kind of why I wanted to start doing this, is because when I was in the hospital, the first thing I did, like you, is I went to YouTube. That's the first thing I did, and I went to YouTube and I looked up to see who could help me and who went through it and how they dealt with it. So that's like, I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, if you're savvy enough and you're not too shy, you know what I mean, grab a camera or even use your phone and click it on and make a couple
yeah,
videos, see how it goes for you, because you never know where it's going to bring you.
exactly.
All right, man. Well, hey, I do appreciate the time. That's all the questions I got for you. Is there anything else you wanted to
Well,
say?
uh, no, I think that's pretty much it. You asked a lot of great questions. I've watched a couple of your videos, and I'm very like impressed about your quality of videos and also the questions you ask. They're very, impressive. I've seen what's his name? The one guy come to on your video, the guy that was in
Uh,
the the
Lamar? No, it's not Lamar. It's
the African American guy.
yeah.
He all blinged out.
Oh no,
Yeah,
Rico G. That's my
Rico,
guy.
Rico, yeah.
Rico, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that video with him. I'm like, man, I could relate to him. So your videos actually helps others because if I didn't meet you, then I wouldn't be able to see others that are actually similar to me. I'm like, wow, that guy's similar to me, and that'd be cool if I end up reaching out to him or others just like me. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm very impressed on what you've done.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Helping others.
I do. I appreciate it. And what I'll do is probably next year sometime, I'd like to get everybody around and just kind of like do little shorts. You know what I mean? Maybe bring everybody together so like, everybody that's done a Wheelchair Wednesday can have a moment to like either reach out to each other or whatever. I mean, to me,
that.
Go ahead.
That remind me of rehab. Where they end up having like these like people from out of rehab come in as like guest speakers and pretty much tell us their stories and to help the new people pretty much. So that's pretty much what you're like what you kind of remind me what you're doing is like
trying to open up the doors to communication for people.
Yeah, we did a rehab where they brought everybody together at a table. We went around, told them our story and stuff like that. So that's actually a very good idea.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, like I said, I appreciate it. We're gonna put the links to all T11 Paraplegics in the description. So we'll have your YouTube page on here so people can click it, check them out. You make new videos every Friday, I think it is?
Yeah, every Fridays I do shout-outs for any new subscribers, and I do shorts every now and then, but every Fridays, that's when I upload my main videos.
Right, for sure. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you coming by. Stick with me here once we close this down, and I'll talk to you a little bit more before we part ways. But besides that, I want to say thank you to all our viewers. Make sure you like and subscribe. We try to do a new video every week. I want to make sure we get this out to people and so they can have something to check out. But until next time, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everybody watching. And we'll see you next Wednesday.